Hello, Facebook ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hello, guys, another podcast. So, most probably it's going to be a small podcast today because it's going to be the last of the year. Podcast number 51. That means that so far we have 50 podcasts plus this one, 51. It's been nice. It's just a nice psychotherapy for me. And let's go straight away to it. And as I told you, I don't have a lot of questions and stuff. We're going to meet again after this podcast at the start of, on the first week, I believe, of January. So, first of all, let's discuss a little bit about the fact that for some reason, December is a little bit of slow month in terms of things that are happening within the platform because I don't know, all the people go for vacation from Meta. I don't know what's happening. Right now, there are several rejected ads in some accounts, and Meta has a new system that when you ask for a review, it doesn't do that immediately. It does say that what you should expect, and it asks the reason. And there are two options. Option number one is that it says decide, for example, if option number one is that you believe that we did a mistake, and when you click on this one, they give you the option to put the reason, an email, and a link that is proving your claim. And you do all of that, and when you click OK, it doesn't do anything. So basically, this is a new feature that they just put there, and it doesn't work because when you click the button, it does nothing. And there's a big issue right now. Several people have rejected ads, but I truly believe, to be honest with you guys, knowing Facebook, that this thing is going to be fixed after December, and most probably a lot of people will have issues for no reason. Anyway, a little bit about the ads. All the ad accounts seem to start recovering after the first week after Black Friday that we had slow results. Everything is back to normal. I think it's doing well, and we have also the Christmas promotions which are running. We discussed about the Christmas promotions in the previous one, and if you're watching this podcast now, it's 12. It's not too late. You can still do promotion for Christmas for something like 7 days. So after that, you will have to close your ads basically because people need to get their things before the 25th because they're going to be angry if they get it later. So the situation is much more stable. It's doing better. Now, the ultimate goal of whatever we have done so far with the Black Friday ads and the attack period is that we scaled. Now we want to go into a decent spending with our campaigns and then try to scale back to the Black Friday numbers in the next 3, 4, 5 months. Try to hit this number again in a month that is going to be good. Is it going to be February? Is it going to be March? Is it going to be another month? It doesn't matter. We will have to try to get to these numbers and try to establish it as a new spend. On top of that, I would like to say that the next good opportunity that we're going to have, January is generally a good month, but a very good period is going to be between 10th and 17th of February because it is the Chinese New Year and a lot of people stop doing ads during February, especially dropshippers. And don't think that dropshippers are not enough. There are several, and they are also changing the CPMs. Another thing before we go in another major thing that I want to discuss is that we have also Facebook pushing the concept of Q5, which is that after the 25th, between 25 and 31, because they don't have a lot of ads, they're salespeople. You have to remember that the people that you talk to, they're not experts, they are salesmen, and they try to sell you packages or dreams on how you should spend more on Facebook ads. So what they're doing with Q5 is that they say that there's another, after Q4 it's Q5. Whoever thought of that, he has to be very proud of himself, thinking that he's thought of something smart, but to be honest with you, it's a total BS. The thing is that they say that because not a lot of people are advertising, you can do ads because you have lower CPMs and you have better results. Guess why people are not advertising? Because nobody is buying, and they buy again at the start of January. I don't believe at all in Q5. Even if I see an ad account working well with Q5, I'm not going to start pushing more spend or whatever on my ads during that period. I would just want to survive on that period so that I can start all my hard work again on January. So on Q5, zero changes. I'm not going to even call it Q5. After Christmas, from 25 to 31st, no changes. We just stay on the same budget if we can afford it, and we try to maintain it, even with breaking even, just so that we can start again from a strong position on January. Now, last thing that I want to discuss is that, first of all, I told you that on this Black Friday, I believe that I did really well and all of that, and there's this time that passes by, and then you start seeing things. And one of major things that I have realized is this: a lot of times companies, they say that they are ready to scale, but they're not ready, because when you are having a company which is spending 50k and it has one problem, the problem looks like this. Okay, it's a very small problem. The moment you start spending, instead of 50k, 200k or 500k, a problem which is small, or it's happening only once or twice per month, it's going to happen 10 or 20 times per month, and the problem is becoming bigger. So I have seen, for example, that with companies that I have scaled, there were things that they were happening that nobody could understand in smaller numbers, but when bigger numbers are coming, now they're actually realizing these issues and they are trying to fix them. So a lot of times, if you're scaling a lot, expect to actually find problems that you didn't know that they existed before, but the bigger numbers make them more obvious. For example, if you are having bad customer support and is doing mistakes on the refunds, for example, because the refunds on smaller budgets can be 1 or 2 or 3 per month, when you do 500k spend, these refunds can be 20, 30 or 40, which is a significant number that now you are starting to actually observe, and you are starting actually seeing different impact with your economics. Or for example, false shipping or overcharging on shipping or things like that. I'm not even going to mention stock, because most of the times the stock is the issue. When you scale that hard, it's very difficult for the company to actually have stock for later, which has happened also with some of the brands that I scaled. It's not because I scaled more. We have discussed all of that, but the problem is that you cannot predict how much you can scale. So if you scale, of course, you're going to scale, but if you scale too much, not because it's your fault again, because you discussed that and you said, okay, let's do the best that we can. But after that, stock, it can be a really big killer of your Facebook ads, because you can do nothing about it, okay? And the pre-order thing and all of that doesn't work, because in these companies we have tried to say, okay, buy and you will take it on February, and people are just not buying. So stock is a huge issue and it can kill your ads. The best thing that you can do, I guess, is to keep all of the campaigns that you are running and just start lowering budgets and just discuss with the company and just take a hit. Okay, because if you close campaigns that you have for 1 year, you're not going to be able to recover them. On the other hand, scaling them when you're going to have good results again, it's a viable scenario, and most of them should be able to survive. That's the thing that I wanted to say. So let's go to your questions so that we can start. Is there a way to target people living in desired location? I'm getting only living or recently in this location. When targeting state or a big town, there is a lot unwanted traffic. When you do your targeting, you can see a map. It says on the bottom right, it says drop pin. If you take this and drag it, you can go and you can work in a different mile radius area. I have a video where I talk about the crazy method and lead generation for local businesses, where I'm showing how you can do it and how you can work with different mile radius. Next one. Hey man, good content. My broad targeting gets leads for me, opening of my contact form, but these people don't really match my audience. It's very typical for in lead forms not to get good quality. I produce commercials for companies. The algo targets people that are owners of film production. Any ideas? Thanks. So let me tell you something about lead generation. There's no way that you can just target whichever you want. Even on LinkedIn, you cannot do that. The problem is that when you target with lead generation, with lead gen forms, you're trying to get volume in order to get some quality out of it. Basically, you try to get as lowest as you can go in the cost per lead. In order for you to get a lot of leads, all of them are going to be disqualified and get one person inside, something like that. Now, there are several things that are improving the quality of the lead, but it doesn't mean that it's going to improve in the, you know, in the, not in the way that you want, but in the numbers that you want. So basically, one thing is a screening question. I say this example a lot of times. I used to work with a company that was doing lead generation for remove of mold. So basically what we were doing is that we were running ads near lakes, which was my idea, because there is more humidity over there. Living in Thessaloniki in Greece, you know very well what humidity means. So targeting people next to areas with sea, it makes total sense, or with lakes or rivers. So the thing is that we were getting a lot of unwanted traffic, which was people that they were not the owners, and because the service was expensive, they were not going to pay for it. So what we did is we added a screening question inside, which was saying, are you a homeowner? If somebody was saying no, nobody was calling them. So the situation is that by doing screening questions, you can filter the leads and you can see if they're good or bad. A second thing is that you need to serve them as fast as possible in order to, because they're going to forget after 2-3 days. If you serve them later, they're going to forget. The third thing is that you can go into a landing page and try to get people there. So the people that they're going to convert as leads after reading all the things into your landing page are going to be better quality, but of course the cost of lead is going to skyrocket. There is not perfect mix over here, but these are some solutions for you. Maybe you will find a better way of doing it with all of the things that they were mentioned. Hi Konstantinos, I know you in your videos about the crazy method. You say don't increase the budget as it might unoptimize the campaign and to just duplicate it instead. I was wondering, have you ever have experience of increasing the budget of an existing crazy method campaign? And if so, how did it perform? Just asking out of curiosity, that's all. You're not asking out of curiosity, you're asking because you want to do it. But it's fine, do it, and it's going to fail. You have to understand, all of you, that here there are people that are watching, that are very experienced, and there are people that they are just watching it and they just don't understand everything that we say in the deep technical level because they don't have the other accounts that I have or other experienced people. So when I'm saying things, I'm trying to also protect people, because when I say something, people take it and they just try to distort it in the way that they will like it, so that they can feel that it can work also with them. Have I increased CBO campaign budgets? Yes, and I'm doing it a lot of times. When do I do it? For example, one case is that you have a CBO campaign and instead of, you have 10 assets and you go inside and you see all of the 10 assets having sales, okay? When you see that, you are going to increase the budget because all of the budget is going to be, the extra budget is going to be scattered among 10 assets, for example, okay? Now, what am I afraid? That someone is going to have only 4 assets and $500, for example, and is going to increase it to 1,000 because he listened to me saying that if you have all of your assets, but in his case, it's only 4 assets. So I'm afraid of these kind of things, and I know that if you don't know what you're doing, also for me, increasing the budget on a CBO campaign is the last thing that I would do. I wouldn't do it. Most probably I would duplicate it and do something else, but there are some cases that you get good ROAS and all of them are spending, so it's giving you the sign that you have to give it more budget. Now, saying that, I know that a lot of you will hear that and you will take other signs to increase it. In general, don't do it, but since you ask from curiosity and not because you want to do it, yes, I do it in several cases when I see that Facebook is asking for more budget, because it's not disturbing anything. Other than that, it's totally fine if you increase it and you start, It's totally fine if you do it and you start having campaigns that are ruined and all of that, because you will learn the hard way. If you don't believe me, just start increasing CPOs on budget campaigns and you will see. Next, we have two messages from James. One message here is him telling his experience. He says, I was struggling throughout the month of November until I came across Konstantinos' channel. As mentioned before, I was conducting aggressive testing on ABO to find the winners and placing them in winning CBO campaigns. I have closed all the campaigns and consolidated 15 video ads into one Advanced Plus campaign. I ended up duplicating the campaign without the dominant ads for the previous one. Now I have two Advanced Plus campaigns with 4 winning ads. First of all, I must say that I'm really glad that I see people that they, as I said earlier, they misinterpret my things and they overdo it, or they misuse, for example, the crazy method. But here we see someone watching my videos and actually doing the things that I propose. I have also set up a simple bottom fire retargeting campaign. Perfect. I was digging my own grave, but now I'm back to sustainable scale my store once again. We're back on track and we are doing even better now. It's not about the tactics or strategies, but about understanding the fundamentals and why they work in the first place. I totally agree with that. And this is what I'm saying always, that this is not about following a blueprint. This is about you understanding from my philosophy and methods and everything how Facebook ads are working, so that you can implement it with your own way into your own business, which might be slightly different from my methods, but based on the things that we explain on the channel. Konstantinos, thank you so much for answering all of my questions. The truth is that James, he did several questions, but it was a pleasure, especially after the results. I can say that it was my pleasure answering them. And for all the content that you put out, I still have much to learn. Just I want to say huge thanks, because I was feeling really stuck. Thank you. I'm really excited for 2024. Glad to hear that. And we have another question which is coming from him and says, hi Konstantinos, it's me again. Ever since we revamped our campaigns, our store have been achieving an average of 3 ROAS. Break-even is 1.5. Our ROAS is now up by 67% compared to before we made changes to our meta account, for which I'm beyond grateful. However, my meta reporting is indicating significant lower figures and I'm having a difficulty time deciding where to scale or not. In the last 7 days, blended ROAS for our store was 3, the first Advanced Plus 2.17, the second Advanced Plus 1.96, bottom final 2.22. We're now running, we're not running any ads. We're not running any ads on other platforms, but we do have a couple of influencers posting about our post, which is challenging to measure. Totally fine. I also believe that our store is performing much better due to seasonality. That's where I am right now. I'm not sure whether I should scale or continue to observe. Look, so the big question is this. First of all, you need to have a ROAS within the business manager that you follow, which is giving you the ROAS that you want in reality. So what's the case over here? If you're seeing that 2 ROAS is giving you 3 ROAS in reality, keep following this number. You don't have to, you should not optimize based on the actual blended ROAS that you see outside. You should just optimize only with the ROAS that you see on the ads platform. And you need to find the number that when you hit it, you are profitable and you are making the money that you want in reality. Now, that being said, what you can do here is this. You can never be sure, okay? And there is underreporting and all of that. So you take and you do another campaign. You try to see what kind of numbers you are hitting. You are not taking decisions super fast. You just do another campaign, and at the end of the day, the worst case scenario that can happen is that you're going to close the extra campaign and you will go back to your budget. Also, you check about seasonality. For example, you don't do that from 25 to 31st. You do it now, for example, you wait for 7, 8, 9, 10 days. If you see that it's stable, you move to another one. Of course, you can do this with a slower or faster pace, depending how fast you want to be aggressive. But for sure, you need some periods of 4 or 5 days that you need to see consistent results of this working and then moving to the next campaign. This is how you need to move from now on. Also, let me tell you that the more you spend, the more when you go to negative days, it hurts more. So you need to be okay with losing some money for 2-3 days, 4 days and then going to profitability again. Because right now, in the smaller spends, even if you have some bad days, you're not going to lose money. Maybe you're going to break even. So you need to calculate. You need to calculate all of these things also, and yeah, I think that these are the next steps that you need to make. And also look at number within Facebook that makes sense for the reality ROAS. Next question. What about that large scale spending and lots of weekly conversion data? Would CBO not be more effective? Here, the name of the video is called "Don't Mix Retargeting with Cold Traffic Ads on Facebook." My answer is you don't want warm to compete with cold, and also retargeting data will never be as big as a cold traffic audience, not in 99.9% of the cases. So the video was all about that you should not do a CBO campaign that has inside a broad targeting or an interest targeting or a cold traffic audience with an ad set that has a warm traffic audience. What's the point of actually having competition inside a CBO campaign with the budgets in a warm traffic audience and cold traffic audience? None. Secondly, he asks if you spend a lot of money. Not even in that case. Third, you need to spend an enormous amount of money in order for this audience to be big enough, in order to take enough budget from the CBO campaign. Why? Because when we put a big audience with a smaller audience inside the CBO campaign, most of the times, not most of the times, like always, the CBO campaign is going to spend all the money in the bigger audience, like broad targeting or a big interest or whatever. So I have seen in accounts that they spend millions per year. The audience of Instagram and Facebook engages, for example, to be 2 or 3 million, which is nothing compared to a broad audience of 250 million people or 240 million people on United States. So you get my point. There is no point of doing it because, first of all, it's not going to spend properly between the two ad sets, and secondly, there is no point of mixing the warm with the cold traffic audience. Even if you see the stats of click-through rates and CPMs and all of that in retargeting comparing to a cold traffic one, they're completely different stats. You should not mix them for these reasons. You should have them separate and evaluate them also separate. Before we close and go to the freelance diaries, I have a comment over here from someone that says, great effort. Just do not call people idiots because you disagree, because they disagree with your methodology or they have limited access to information that you might have. I think that sometimes, guys, when I speak, I get carried away and I might call someone stupid and stuff. If any felt offended by that endeavor, I get it, and I think that this is a very constructive criticism, and I will take this into consideration. I never underestimate the fact that they have not only more knowledge but more access to accounts in order to see things. I don't call people stupid for that. I might call people stupid when they pretend that they're smart and stuff, but I guess that from your criticism also, now that I think of it, it's not correct either, because they haven't seen the truth with their own eyes the same way that I have seen it. So I take this as a good constructive criticism, and I will try to be less offensive to people that they don't understand, I guess, or they have less experience. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Sometimes, there are some comments that they bring you back to reality and get you down from your high horse. Let's go to this freelancer diaries. At least on freelancer diaries, I can call people stupid, right? Or not, I guess. We will see. So, hi there. We're looking for a full stack digital marketing specialist who can help us grow our companies. Requirements. Must have. It's a must have, all of them, okay? Must have experience in creating landing pages. So he's a developer. Must have experience in creating and maintaining webinar pages. So he's also very well educated about webinar pages. Must have experience in creating, organizing, and posting content on social media. So he's also a social media manager. Must have experience in creating Facebook and Instagram ads for webinar and lead generation. So he has to be also a media buyer. Must have experience in email marketing. He needs to know email marketing. SMS marketing. He needs to know that. Must be able to assist in any way to grow the company. So he also needs to be CEO. Apply if you think you're a good fit. Thanks. So, what do you think that is going to happen here? My guess is someone is going to give them a CV which is going to look like the CV is coming from Rambo and he can do anything, or maybe from Yoda. And he or she is going to pretend that knows all of that, or maybe they know all of that in a very basic level by just watching 1 or 2 YouTube videos and stuff. So it's really funny because when you are having a business and you just want to do all of these things and you just take one person to do all of these things, most probably the thing that's going to happen is that all of these things are going to be done in a very mediocre way. Now, does it make sense to do it? Maybe, if your budget is that small and you want to do it in a basic level and then expand to experts for let's say for example that you do all of these, you see that one of them is working, then you expand to an expert to make it better on this one, or you expand to experts to fix the ones that are not working, I guess. But to be honest with you, the way that it's written and says must have, there are no people like this. What you're looking here is most probably a successful e-commerce store owner that knows all of these kind of things. Anyway, that's all I had for you. I hope, guys, that you're going to have a good time with your family in the vacations. I hope that you're going to eat a lot of turkey. I'm going to, at least, and a lot of sweets, because I'm going to also eat a lot of sweets. And don't forget to have some fun and relax, because the new year is coming and it's full of challenges again with Facebook. They also announced that they're going to remove the way that we do ads, in terms of now they're not going to be called conversion ads, they're going to be called sales. We have that already, but some campaigns that they are old and they are conversion ads, they have to be replaced, and they're not going to be catalog ads anymore. They're just going to be ads that you can use the catalog, but not catalog ads as we used to have conversion ads and catalog ads and so on. So changes are coming, and things are doing well, and it was a very interesting year, at least for me, and a very nice year which is closing very well. It's closing a little bit with a bitter end, because I scaled businesses that now I'm losing some of the ads because of stock issues, but I guess that this is a reality that I will have to face a lot of times. And guys, Happy New Year. We will see you on 2024. Bye. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.